Welcome my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program today. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you are joining me from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, from America, any part of the world, wherever you are joining me, Australia, I thank you very much for your contributions on the channel. Please always try to go to the comment section as usual. Put down your comments according to what you have watched, whatever observation you have made in the video. Put it down on the comment section. Say your own views, make your contributions the best way you can. You can contradict me, you can say anything you want to say, you can make your criticism. It's all welcome, but do it constructively. We are here to find a solution. Nobody knows it all. We are all learning from one another, and we are going to be holding hands together to move forward, to look for a solution. That is exactly what we are doing. There is nothing else that we are doing here than to come out and call out the evil that are happening in the contraption called Nigeria. We are not speaking against anybody. We are not against anybody. We are not against any ethnic group. Neither are we against any religion. But we are saying the truth just the way it is. If you feel whatever we are saying affects you, all you have to do is to change from your evil act. Whatever evil you are doing, and when you watch our video, you think it's affecting you, after watching my video, change from your attitude. As soon as you begin to change from your attitude, you will see the positive side of this video. I am not here to create any problem. I'm not here to call for war. Neither am I here to preach any hate speech against anybody, but I'm here to say it the way it is. To bring to your awareness things that are going wrong in that very country called Nigeria. There is a lot of pretense. So many people are pretending. Even when things are going wrong before your own very eyes, people are pretending. They never say the truth. The worst of it is the media. The media in Nigeria has been hijacked. It has been hijacked so much that they cannot speak the truth. They cannot say things the way it is. And media is the main problem we are having in Nigeria. They are the ones supporting the evil government to make sure that their propaganda works. The propaganda they are pushing all corners of the country, things that are obvious that people are seeing. When you see them, they will be going about preaching as if it's all well. When the situation is terrible, they play it down. They make people believe that nothing is going wrong, that everything is under control. But it is clear that everything in Nigeria has destroyed and nothing is under control. Nigeria has come to an end. A lot of reports have come out from international organizations to say that Nigeria is a failed state. So when we talk about the failure of Nigeria, it is not just we talking or a propaganda. The World International Organization have said it, that Nigeria has become a failed state. Every status of a failed state is being owned by Nigeria. If you know what a failed state is, go and check it up in the dictionary. Check it up wherever you can check it up. Then look at the country called Nigeria, what is going on. You will agree with me that Nigeria is a failed state. Those who call themselves the politicians, those who call themselves the elites, they are pretending as much they can. They are still trying to be politically correct in their statements instead of saying it the way it is. But we cannot allow them to change the narrative. We cannot allow them to continue to deceive us. That is why we are coming online on a daily basis to say it the way it is, to expose those evil, to say those things they never want to hear. Use those words they never want to hear. When they talk about the Fulani herdsmen, they will not call them the Fulani herdsmen. They say it's herdsmen. Herdsmen from where? Initially, remember from the beginning of the day, they told us that these people are foreigners, that they are people who are coming from the neighboring countries, that they are not Nigerians. All of a sudden, we woke up and they begin to tell us to accommodate these foreigners and give them space. What did you hear the next day? They came out again and begin to tell us that these people we are calling foreigners are not foreigners, that they are Fulanis of Nigeria. Fulani elites came out to tell us that these people are part of us. What are you now saying? We know those who are herdsmen, who are moving from one state to the other, from one region to the other. If it's not the Igbo herdsmen, if at all there is any Igbo that is a herdsman, if it's not Yoruba herdsmen, if at all there is a Yoruba that is a herdsman, it is not any herdsman from any region apart from the Fulanis. The Fulanis are the only ones that have been known from traveling all over the country on foot, destroying farms, going around with their weapon and ammunition and AK-47, as we all know. So when we talk about the Fulani herdsmen, we call them by their name. They are Fulani herdsmen, not just herdsmen. So whoever is coming on the media to come and talk about herdsmen without mentioning their origin and their source, that is a lie, and we cannot allow that to fly. You remember when Rror came out to tell us that he went to another country to go and pay herdsmen who were coming into Nigeria to kill our citizens. Instead of fighting back, instead of preventing, what Rror did was to go and pay them money. And he came to the national media to say it, that he went to pay them to come stop killing, which means from the day one, they have known those who are killing. From all their pretense, they invited them. That is why their hand is tied and they cannot do anything. And we cannot allow them to kill us just the way they are killing others. Just the way they are killing others. They are pretending that it's all well. But we know that everything is not all right. The poor masses in that very contraption are suffering. The poor masses are suffering. It doesn't matter their tribe. It doesn't matter their religion. In the southeastern part of Nigeria, in the southwestern part of Nigeria, in the northern part of Nigeria, the poor masses are suffering and they are under siege. As we speak, those who are paying for the punishment in the northern part of Nigeria today are the poor masses. The place has been taken over by terrorists. People have no voice. They can't even speak. They can't even complain anymore. You can see a lot of videos which I cannot be able to share with you flying around. Recently, you heard about another abduction. Another abduction in Kaduna State. Another abduction. And they are pretending that all is well. Watch the video of abduction.
News of an early morning abduction of students from Bethel Baptist School in Kaduna brings anxious parents and other relatives rushing down to the premises of the boarding school located along Kaduna-Kachia Road, Chikun local government area of the state.
What will I tell her? What will I tell her?
Attacks on schools are now becoming common in Kaduna State, with many families sleeping less at night, worried about the next target.
God, is this me? No. God, I have to tell you, I am not pleased. Father, in Jesus' name.
Now they raise their voices in prayers, individually and collectively, seeking divine intervention for the safe return of their children.
It's only the students that were taken away. None of the staff is among them. So for me to meet the house master, who's in charge of them here, he too was able to escape with his whole family. He managed to send his wife there on the other wall there and cross to call for rescue. And that thing happened, as you were saying, is about 15 minutes after 1. That was then. And the whole operation starts in 15 minutes time to its own due, not knowing that they have placed all over.
According to eyewitness reports, the attackers stormed the school early Monday morning and began shooting to cause panic before abducting the students. 4 were lucky to escape, but it's not clear how many were taken away.
Here people, they drag, they do. I just wake up, I say who I thought that my student won't see me. So as they say, hey, open that door, if not I will shoot you. And I tell them, say, me I know well, the hand know well. So I say I cannot open the door. So he forced the door and pushed the door open. He said, bring all your answers and money. We say, see the money when we have. We go open our box, remove the money when they pay us the day before yesterday. Then we give them. They say, okay, no any money again. I say, no, we are two. So they said, oh, let's go. I say, oh God, see my leg, I know where. Wait, come on, let's go. So I begin to follow them. As we reached there, they said I should come back. Then they carry my second go.
Security operatives not far from the school attempted to repel the attack. 2 of them lost their lives in the process. The attack comes the day after bandits also abducted several people, including infants, from the residential quarters of the National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Center in Zaria, Kaduna State, on Sunday.
It is not well anywhere. It is not well anywhere. It is not going to get better any soon, because the government in place is a terrorist government, and they are the one that brought the insecurity. They are the one that planted the insecurity by themselves. The insecurity you are seeing in Nigeria is artificial, built up by this very government of the APC, the Muhammadu Buhari government of APC and the Fulani cabals. The Fulani government in Nigeria established this insecurity by themselves to destabilize the country and to Fulanize the country, to hand over the country into the hand of the Fulanis. That is why they can make bold to come and tell us, Mieti Allah will make bold to come and tell us to allow them to protect our bushes. Gumi will come out and tell us to give bandits contract to protecting the bushes. What a country. a country where people come out to make case for the bandit openly, and you still call that a country, and you still want to be part of it, sorry for you. Whatever peace you're making in such kind of environment, you are going to make it on your own blood. On your own blood. For those of us who don't want to be part of it, you cannot force us into a marriage you do not want to belong into. Whatever agreement, whatever amalgamation you people are doing there, we are no longer part of it. Now that is what we are saying. We need the referendum for us to go our separate ways. Even the so-called elite know the truth. They all know the truth, but some of them, most of them, are shying away from the truth. How long will you be running away from the truth? How long? Recently, an interview was granted to Wole Soyinka. And Wole Soyinka, as you all know him, very intelligent man, I can agree. But most of the time, he is always on both sides. He cannot say it the way it is. I don't know what he's afraid of. All the elites, I don't know what they are afraid of. They are always dancing in between. They cannot come out and pronounce the truth the way it is. Always trying to be politically correct. That is the difference between us and them. They know the truth. Somebody like Wole Soyinka knows the truth. And when you hear him deeply speak, you will see the truth coming out. Even at the end of the day, he tried to paint it and change it and be on the safe side because he doesn't want to be antagonized. He doesn't want to be attacked. Watch the interview of Wole Soyinka, what he had to say.
Wole Soyinka, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure.
A lot has happened since the last time we spoke in February. Then we saw Sunday Igboho coming out to take a stand to defend his people from what he called attacks from herdsmen, the killing of farmers, raping of women, and invading of the people's farmlands. He came out to take a stand to defend his people. But what we have today is a situation where the DSS have claimed responsibility for raiding his home, taking responsibility for killing 2 people who they say attacked them, and declared Sunday Igboho wanted. How do you react to this?
Well, I react to what has happened on so many levels, including even reportage. For instance, going through the papers, one prominent and respected papers, there's a sentence which said, for instance, the government had moved against secessionists and other criminals. Now, that's a very loaded and wrongful expression. Would-be secessionists, and other criminals. How can you place the will or the wish for separation as a criminal act? That kind of language does not exist in the Constitution, doesn't exist in law. It should not exist in the catalogue of moralities, because it's not an immoral act or position to say that you want to stop belonging to an entity, or even you want to join another entity, because people take a very simplistic approach to so-called secession. Sometimes it just means I want to leave this group and join another group. And we've had examples like that before and after independence. The Ghana-Guinea Union, for instance. And we've had also, even after independence, the separation by fiat or Bakassi awarded to another nation. I mean, it was not just goats and cattle which existed there, it was human beings. They were not asked where they wanted to belong, but with a stroke of the pen, for certain political reasons, consolidated by succeeding governments, the Bakassi people were ceded to the Cameroon. And before that, of course, we had the plebiscite in the Cameroon region, in which a group, the section decided to go with Cameroon, another section to stay with Nigeria. So why on earth, in the name of justice, should anyone classify those who wish to secede or rejoin another nation as criminals? That's wrong, and that is playing the devil's game. It's playing the government claim. Why do I position? Look at the raid, this very bizarre raid, midnight raid, on a law-abiding citizen, which the government now says netted a number of illegal weapons, AK-47s, etc., ammunition. We're now in a situation where, of course, Igboho is saying that these weapons were not there, they were planted. Now, that's one aspect. We can deal with that later on. But more important for me was the position of the government, saying that the existence of these weapons, quote-unquote existence, in Igboho's place, proved that he was planning war against the state. Now, that position, that statement, very loaded statement, was simply to conflate, deliberately to conflate issues. It was to obscure the fact that Igboho and other people, myself included, have been decrying the depredations on the lives of law-abiding citizens, farmers especially, throughout the whole nation, Benue, Kaduna, Nasarawa, etc., and saying that it's time, and not just civilians. Danjuma, at one stage, called on the people and said, don't trust the military anymore. Defend yourselves, whichever way you can. And other governors, some governors, other voices like governors, have made exactly the same statement. Now, Igboho, even if he had those weapons, he's claiming that his mission was to liberate his people from the tyranny of squatters who now become violent overlords. And he has a good cause in that sense. Testimonies of citizens, farmers especially, who have been brutalized, dehumanized by these squatters who have acknowledged and identified themselves as Fulani, that this decades and decades of this kind of anomalous situation in which the people did not receive the necessary, mandatory, and entitled defense and protection by the security forces, in which sometimes it is the victims who've been jailed, put in prison. There is a recent case in Ibarakba, for instance. We read the personal testimonies of those who were arrested and detained by the police simply for going to challenge those who were tyrannizing over the existence and raping their women. So now, you have a situation where a government is saying, oh yes, the existence of these weapons means that Igboho was planning armed insurrection against the state. So the whole thing from beginning to the end just stinks. The raid, the motivation has become very, absolutely implausibly, just degraded. And right now we're in the kind of situation which we have warned against. We called on the government to accept its responsibilities. And when eventually now citizens say, enough, we're going to protect ourselves, you say they are arming against the state. A language which we never used to describe it or to accuse those who have been proven to be the aggressors in this case. So where are we, you tell me?
After raiding his home, the DSS had come out to say that Sunday Igboho is wanted and that he should turn himself in. What would you advise he does in this situation? Well,
my advice is not even so much Igboho, but to the government, that they should stop pursuing this person as a criminal, because you have begun by acting in a criminal fashion against him. Because if and when Igboho comes to trial, I guarantee you it's the government which will be very, very embarrassed. Very embarrassed. So it's not even in the interest of the government. I think they should just tell Igboho, we made a mistake. We should not have acted in this way. You are no longer wanted. Please go back to your home. In fact, escort him to his home, quietly, and let him resume his normal life, to declare him wanted. And again, this is another issue of language. I read in some papers, Igboho is in hiding. Well, but more accurately, he's probably just gone underground, to protect himself and perhaps to be able to continue his declared struggle. I'm not talking now about the secessionist aspect of his struggle. No, I'm talking about what Igboho came out to do and which I believe is still his mission in this nation, to protect, defend his own people, and to let the aggressors know that they are not lords of this nation or any section of it, apart from what they are constitutionally entitled to. So I think the government, it's in no interest. If you bring Igboho to trial, you're just going to get mud in your face, clearly. As far as I'm concerned, it's up to Igboho to decide. He knows what the circumstances were. He knows what happened before his people were killed. And he's the only one who can judge, who can decide for himself. I cannot advise him.
Yes. The last time we spoke, Professor, you talked about the methods of Sunday Igboho and how that there were concerns around his methods and that there were talks going on and a lot of things going on, that we couldn't see, to make sure that in as much as he was standing for the right thing, that his methods would align with what is also right. So where are we on that?
Well, when you talk about methods, for instance, I want to distinguish. There are two very heavy issues on our hands at the moment, even though both allegedly bear the name secession. What Igboho stands for is not too dissimilar to what Kanu, for instance, stands for. The methods in terms of what we know, what is self-declared by these individuals, the method of Kanu, for instance, is very different from the method which we are able to ascribe to Igboho up to now. Not what the government is alleging, but up to now, Igboho has joined others, for instance, in holding rallies all over the country. There has been no accusation of any violence, none whatsoever. Guns have not been fired, houses have not been burnt. Okay, after he went and told this herdsman who was accused of things, told him, leave town, there's no evidence that he was responsible for the violence that followed. They claim that some houses were burned afterwards. But it was proven that all this took place after he left. Nothing has been able to attach to him in terms of violence. So we have that approach to what you might even call a meeting of minds. And we have to separate all those things, just as we must separate the principle of separation from whether we actually want it. Let me make this quite clear, because very often this is conflated and it makes discourse very, very difficult. It's first of all the issue of the right of a people to secede or not secede, to amalgamate or not amalgamate. That's one thing. And for me, that is incontrovertible. People are born free as individuals and as groups, as community. They have historic aspects of history which make them recognizable as one entity on it. And whether they have a right to move out or move in, that for me is a fundamental principle of human existence and even social evolution. You see, one begins to understand, for instance, why, very strangely, some people got up and stopped the teaching of history in this country. We recognize, we know for certain now, and it's become evident, that is because they don't want people to have a historic reference, even within their own society. In other words, if they studied history, they know that they don't even have to go back centuries. They don't even have to go outside to Asia, to Europe, whether you're talking about England, the Irish and the Welsh, or the Bretons in France, or the Catalans in Spanish. You don't even have to go out. That if you stay within your own history, you can elicit certain principles of cohabitation, will justify whatever preference you have at this moment. That's one of the reasons why, strangely, history was abolished. Now, that's one, the principle. Two, however, what do you and I want? Do we, as personal preferences, want to stay together, or do you think it's perhaps best that we should separate? That's a secondary issue. And as long as people keep conflating those two, positions will be mistaken, paths towards even achieving one's own preference will be blocked because of the emotionalism which is attached to staying together, this pietistic, theological concept of this is better than the other. You know, let's put that aside and talk about the practical issues. What makes it possible, rational, beneficial, productive, progressive for people to stay together or to stay apart? That then makes it possible for me to say, let us say to Kanu, listen, it is better we stay together. Given history, given the economic issues, given the geopolitics of our moment, etc., then we can actually talk. But there can be no discourse if you keep thundering against all evidence, against history, against contemporary realities all over the world, saying the sovereignty of Nigeria is non-negotiable. You're saying there's no discussion. And that's when people like Igboho, they transit from merely defending themselves against internal enemies, especially when they see that those internal enemies appear to be supported by the state, by the force of the state. That's when they then transit from that situation of direct, focused, internal obstacle, and then transit to say, okay, enough is enough, let's go. That's why I say we must distinguish between those two.
Yes, let me just...
After watching Wole Soyinka, you can agree with me that it is not all well. It is not well. It is not well. You can see the kind of defense he's putting for his own brother, Igboho. But when it comes to the side of Mazi and Kanu, he's being very careful on what to say. He's being very careful. Well, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I expect people from the southeastern part of Nigeria to put a defense for Mazi and Kanu. I am not expecting much from anybody from the southwest part of Nigeria because they are doing great on their own side. They are having similar problem that we have. They cannot take our own problem to occupy theirs. So we don't blame them for whatever. Even at least for mentioning Mazi and Kanu in the case and saying it, it's a credit to us. It's a credit to Mazi and Kanu. But what about those who call themselves in the elites in the southern part of Nigeria, the southern part of Nigeria, the traditional rulers, those who are claiming to be our leaders? What are they doing? None of them is speaking up. None of them is saying anything. They are pretending. Instead, they are colluding with those who want to kill us. They are colluding with those who want to kill us. None of them. Mazi and Kanu, who has stood up, and everybody knows that the masses are with Mazi and Kanu. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter the propaganda they carry on the media. It doesn't matter how they try to paint it and change the narrative. The truth, and the only truth, is that every individual in that very contraption called Nigeria knows the truth, and they know that Mazi and Kanu is fighting a just cause. They know that Sunday Igboho is fighting a just cause. Don't think that the poor masses did not do. The poor masses know what is happening. And they know that these two individuals, who are the face of victory, the face of freedom in that very country called Nigeria, in the southern part of Nigeria, they know very well that these people are fighting a just cause. That is why when you arrest Mazi and Kanu or when you chase Sunday Igboho away, you are just inflaming the whole problem. You are not anyhow going to cow us down. You're not going to quench the agitation. You're not going to make people run away. People have woken up fully. Mazi and Kanu did a great job. Everybody have woken up. With the coming of Sunday Igboho also, many people have joined the struggle. And nobody is willing to listen to whatever the federal government is saying. If you doubt me, the only place you can know what is happening in Nigeria is in the street. When you go to the street and talk to people in the street, that is where you will find the truth. Not in the media, not in their government office, not in Asorok. It is in the street where you will see the citizens of that country, indigenous people of Nigeria, speaking out their mind. For that, I'm going to share with you a video of what the street are saying about the persecution of Mazi and Kanu and Sunday Igboho. Hear from the street what they have to say.
The real arrest of IPOP leader Nnamdi Kanu and hunt for Sunday Igboho, self-professed Yoruba freedom fighter, have continued to generate more conversations. What are Nigerians saying? People's Nigerians on the streets to get some reactions. Enjoy. What do you make of Nnamdi Kanu's rearrest and hunt for Sunday Igboho?
The real people who are troubling this nation, the Boko Haram people, Fulani herdsmen who are kidnapping, killing the bandits, people know where they are. Why are they not going for them? Why are they also not tagging them as troublers of our nation? Why are they going after Nnamdi Kanu and Igboho only without using the same ferocity, using the same political will, using the same machinery of state to hunt down these people?
I see all this as a diversion to what is happening in Nigeria. So the government should focus on the bandits, the terrorists, the Boko Haram, the ISWAP that are ravaging the north, killing people, massacring people every blessed day. So I think that's where they should focus their attention and leave these people alone. They have done nothing wrong. They are exercising their constitutional rights.
Democracy is dialogue, and I think that's the way forward. I see the move as anti-democracy.
If not insecurity, the government have no right to give people power to go into securing themselves. They are covering up their tracks, and very soon this country is going to burst.
I think that the good thing that the federal government is supposed to do is to dialogue with Sunday Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu, because all these people, they have so many followers.
We know the people that has given this country a nightmare. It is not Nnamdi Kanu. We know that all these men, Sunday Igboho as a Yoruba man, is looking for freedom for Yoruba people. If Nigerian government want Nigeria to be at peace, they know what to do. Give everybody equal rights.
Why Sunday Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu are doing what they are doing is actually the perceived marginalization for the Southeasterners if the issues that they are fighting for are not being addressed. So whether we like it or not, taking Nnamdi Kanu out of the picture, take Sunday Igboho out of the picture, we still have 10,000 that will still rise up.
Nnamdi Kanu was talking on the behalf of his people. His people is being marginalized in the country called Nigeria, the entity called Nigeria. You can't beat a child and ask the child not to cry. Solve the hunger strike that is eating up the people. Solve the economic hardship that is eating up the people. Inflation has gone into even 90% of the country. As the government solved the case, is Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho, is it the problem of Nigeria? There is a law of nature that says in every action there is an opposite and equal reaction. A time will come in this country that thousands of Sunday Igboho will come out and thousands of Nnamdi Kanu will come out. The government should know what they are doing.
After watching the video from the street, you can agree with me that everybody in that country from called Nigeria is awake. Very much awake. They know what is going on and they are not relenting in their effort. The time is coming. The end has come. Not just coming, the end has come. It is time to let the southern part of Nigeria go their separate ways. The southern part of Nigeria have to go their separate way and establish an order that will be convenient for a human being to survive. We can no longer deal with the northern part of Nigeria. We can no longer be part of it. It is time to grant us referendum so that we can define ourselves. Referendum is not war. Referendum is not the act of war. Referendum simply means give people the opportunity to decide where they want to belong. You never can tell. They can even vote to be in Nigeria and remain in Nigeria. So why are you shying away from it? You have all the capacity. You have everything to make your campaign on referendum. Make your campaign. Convince people. Why are you shying away from referendum? Even the North are calling for referendum. Why not put this referendum on the table? Let us decide and people decide and make a choice where they want to be and where they want to belong. That will save a lot of us from all trouble. To save us from a lot of trouble. That is the only way out. Whatever you are doing apart from that is a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It's a shame that those who were appointed to speak on our behalf in that very certain part of Nigeria are all cowards. Selfish people who are there for just for their selfish interest. You will see them fighting for second position in every way. Individually fighting for second position. They can never come out to fight for those who have sent them either in the Senate or in House of Representatives. They are just there for their own selfish interests. That is why they never make a case for you and they never make a case for me. And this is the message that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been pushing out there. Now they have demonized Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be somebody who is preaching hate, to be somebody who has been inspiring people online to go and do damages. But that is not the case. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu inspired a lot of people in that country called Nigeria to know what is going on, to know what is right and what is wrong. He inspired people to be able to ask for, demand for that which is theirs. He inspired people to defend themselves against the doom that is coming. The doom is there already. If not for the message of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, what do you think that would have happened? If not for the establishment of ESN that have pushed the Janjaweed back, pushed the Fulani agenda back so much, pushed the Fulani agenda on hold, what do you think would have been the fate of people in the southeastern part of Nigeria? If not for the message of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Igboho woke up strongly fighting for the southwestern part of Nigeria, what would be the fate of the southwestern part of Nigeria? Since Igboho come out and Igboho is fighting openly, you can see the game have changed. They are scared. They are scared. They cannot even be patient to send an invitation for him to come and make an answer. They went to his house to kill him, but they cannot succeed. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. Biafra will come, and Oduduwa will come. God bless Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and strengthen him wherever he is. Give him good health. Give him more knowledge and strength. We are waiting for him to join us very, very soon. May God protect Sunday Igboho wherever he is. Guide him. Keep him safe wherever he is. Everyone that is speaking up in that very country called Nigeria, asking for self-determination, asking for what is right, may Chukwu Abiyama continue to protect all of you. May Chukwu Abiyama protect Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Give him more strength. The message he had left for us, we will continue to push this message until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu joins us. Thank you for watching and remember blessed. Bye-bye. See you again on the next video.